Hey guys, how you doing? Videosack here. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about just the main reason why I start talking about a lot of the things I talk about nowadays on my channel. And the reason why, especially with Love Dolls, part of the reason why I started talking about that like I did was because people just kept on requesting that. And so I talked about that the most, kind of like I've stated before. And I also did state about how I just thought it was so full of it, the stereotypes being, posted on, Love Doll owners, etc. And there's, of course, some other Love Doll owners, aka idolators, as they call them, you know, where, these guys, they were basically, I would say dedicated to these Love Dolls, etc. And then so all of these people just thought, oh, every Love Doll owner is like this and blah, blah, blah. But not to mention that, but I remember before I started talking about that, I just was talking about at one point about how bullshit I thought a lot of gamers were in the way that they were trying to always get money out of the companies that they bought video games from. They would always just try to find reasons to try to get money out of these companies, especially, companies like, Rockstar that made GTA 5, etc. And the types of complaints they would make. Like sometimes they would be like, oh, I moved to a different section and lost my paint job and blah, blah, blah. Or, just petty little reasons to try and get something out of, Rockstar or some other gaming company. And, of course, the people that make these video games are just as human as we are. And just like, being humans like us, they're susceptible to making mistakes just like us. Just like when they came out with, Cyberpunk 2077, they came out with the game a bit early. It was kind of unfinished. And, people just raged and even, would, either call the company or, send messages to the people making the game. And they would send death threats to them for, just for coming out with a game a bit early. And, of course, these same people, they're trying to fix the game after it came out because they saw, oh shit, the game isn't as well finished as we thought it was. We need to fix this. And so they're trying to fix it. And at the same time, they keep on getting these death threats and everything. And then it's just like, okay. And then all of these employees actually quit, I heard, because of it in the middle of trying to fix the game. It's like, okay, we're just always working 60 hours a week and we're getting death threats. We can't fucking take this. And then of course, the people that, own the company, of course came out and say, hey, don't put this on our employees, put this on us. It's our fault, blah, blah, because the people that own the company were trying to at least get some of the slack off of the employees and everything. They're trying to give them, some space from the people and the people that were sending these messages to them, putting all this pressure onto them and everything. And so on. Man, it's just the gaming world nowadays and how many people they just seem to be so unsatisfied with, the games they come out with nowadays. I just don't agree with it. I think that people just need to have fun with these games sometimes. No offense. And I even recently saw people bitching about the definitive edition for the GTA franchise coming out here. And all I hear sometimes is people bitching about, how perfect they aren't and blah, blah. And, some other complaints that I'm not going to get into because I'm just like, man, just have fucking fun with the game. Jesus Christ. But, as far as the Love Dolls go, yeah, there was a lot of bullshit things, but I also recognize some other things with Love Dolls, like, that could actually benefit our lives. Like, I remember all of the times when I was playing a game with somebody on PSN, and there would always be eventually some jackass trying to make me look bad in front of some, gamer girl or whatever. And just so you guys know, like these guys wouldn't even know what these women we were playing with even look like. And these guys, this and you know, I mean, sometimes these women would live in like a completely different country, and this guy's sitting here playing, let's say GTA 5 with me, and he's trying to make me look bad so that he has more of a chance to hit on her. And I'm just like, you know what? I even remember in the past when I used to do stupid things in order to get laid, when I was younger. But now that I actually have like something, another option, like a love doll with me, like a really good love doll, I was just like, you know what? I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. I don't have to do something stupid anymore to get laid, with some lady that I don't even know we're like, you know what I mean? Or that lives all the way in some other country or whatever. I don't have to deal with this anymore. And this is something that I want to talk about on my channel, And I saw that, nobody was really hardly ever talking about this kind of stuff on YouTube. And so I'm just like, and it's like, why is that? And then, of course, I did think of some reasons like, well, I mean, there aren't going to be that many people that want to show that they have one of these things because of, all the stereotypes. And I was like, hey, that's another thing that I can talk about is just the BS stereotypes on my channel, that are just being put on love doll owners, even though there's like a lot of love doll owners that's, aren't like that. You know what I mean? And so, of course, wanted to talk about that. And then it also wasn't just about love dolls. It was also just about things that were BS. I saw myself just talking about more and more about things that were just BS. And so that's kind of what my channel became. It was just a channel just talking about things that were just completely BS. And the things that I grew up with that I was taught before I was homeschooled were BS. And of course, when I was homeschooled, I started learning about these things. That all the stuff that I was taught was just BS about life. And that high school also it wasn't teaching me a lot of things that I needed to know to survive, in today's world. And then went back to high school for the last, I'll say, 2.5 years. But before then, it was like, I don't know, like 4.5 years of, homeschool after, it started and blah, blah. I'm trying to do the fast version of the story for you guys. And yeah, but yeah, I had like this strong desire to talk about love dolls at one point. And it was because nobody was talking about it. There was no channels talking about it. And there was maybe some love doll channels, but they weren't really talking about, things like, why they have one of these things and etc. They weren't talking about the lifestyle part of it, especially, I would say. And man, there was just a lot of missing content, is all I could say. Is the reason why I started talking about it. I thought, well, I mean, somebody has to start talking about it. Otherwise, there's all these people out there that are just going to keep on throwing these stereotypes onto these people and badgering them over nothing, over, just a sex toy. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the reason why I did that, was because I just thought what these people were just doing was just full of crap and there needed to be some content. But man. Yeah, man, oh man. But there's also one other thing I wanted to talk about. And the reason why I'm making this video is because at one point, there was starting to be some haters that were getting attracted to my channel. Hello. Now, of course, and this is the reason why I made that video a little while ago, talking about why some people were replacing women with basically, and not to say not just with love dolls, but in general, we're trying to replace women. And the reason why I disagreed with that, and the reason why I did that again, was because I was starting to notice some haters were getting attracted to my channel. And I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, this isn't what I wanted to do with this channel, with my channel, is to make a hater channel, because I'm not a hater towards women. That's not the reason why I have a love doll. You know what I mean? That is just not the reason. And I know that's also not the reason why a lot of people get love dolls. You know what I mean? And so I made this video, especially after there was a guy, it was kind of the last straw when a guy said, hey, you know, why blame these people killing women over sex and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, killing women over them not having sex with you is just a bunch of bullshit. I need to say something about this. There was another comment before that almost kind of made me make a video, like, because there was a couple other guys that were talking about, replacing women so that they didn't have to deal with them or something. And I'm just kind of like, well, I mean, I don't know what about the women that you talk to, but I mean, okay. I decided not to make a video on it, but I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, like what kind of crowd am I attracting here? Because yeah, I'm not a hater, and so I made the video, and then I got like 30 people unsubscribed from me that day or something. Thanks. They actually are kind of interesting and entertaining, I guess. But man, yeah, that was definitely, I would say, the biggest part of my channel's experience I definitely look back at is that I'm just not a hater, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a hater towards women. I'm not a hater towards anybody. But I'm kind of not on anybody's side sometimes, because I'm just very laid back like that. I'm actually, in a sense, at some point, it was like I was trying to teach some love doll owners to not hate women. And, when somebody becomes a hater, that's a very hard thing to do. And, I'm not going to say I judge people for hating something, but, because I think sometimes people get pushed too far. I mean, there's a period in my life where I was pushed too far myself. A couple of times. In fact, I was pushed too far at least a few times. Oh, my God. But, I've also realized the fact that playing the victim doesn't really get you anywhere. It really does not get you anywhere. And it pushes away your friends as well. If you're trying to compare what you went through with your friends constantly, your friends are eventually going to stop wanting to be around you. And, especially when it comes to being a hater and acting like, these people are making you into a victim because of this and that. I mean, let's say just for incels, again, because we've talked about that on my channel. And so these incels think that these women are making them into a victim just because... Hello. Just because... just because they won't sleep with them and they're sleeping with somebody else. And it's just like, that's actually something that's kind of normal. No offense. I mean, there's one time I went to a whole school full of women and they all pretty much damn near all rejected me. But you don't see me going to that school with a gun just because these women had the right to reject me. I mean, that's the thing. We have the right to reject somebody if we don't want to sleep with them. I mean, that's the thing. There's no right for somebody to just force somebody into having sex with them like that. That's just ridiculous. And that's kind of another BS thing I've kind of talked about on my channel is, you don't have the right to just get laid. sex is just a natural thing that human beings just tend to do, but that doesn't mean that you have the right to get laid like that. And man, it's just it is such BS that they put so much pressure on these kids and these younger kids that sometimes they will think this way. And I'm not, of course, saying I hate incels, but I do at least get that there's people that are pushing them towards not the right direction, the wrong direction. They're putting all this pressure on these kids as they grow up, and I just think it's ridiculous. And that's part of the reason why I've talked about it, is because somebody has pushed them in the wrong direction, and I'm trying to say something about it. I'm trying to tell them, hey, you can get laid. But here's something you need to recognize. When you turn 18, the sex age comes. When you turn into an adult and you turn 18, the world of sex becomes open to you like that. Your parents no longer can hold you back from doing whatever you want to do. You are legally an adult, and you can legally escape from your parents and everybody that knows you, and you can literally just do what you want. Now, of course, that might not always be the smartest way, or I should say thing to do, but that is something to keep in mind if you feel like something is holding you back. There's actually nothing holding you back except for yourself. I have no hate towards women. I simply feel that adult is just interested life. Listen, and just dating women. Yes, I agree. Just one of many choices, including traditional ones. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that since it's almost like 17 minutes here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.